Morgan and Nick are two individuals who use services from Sample Supports. Their families came to us recently to tell us their stories.
My name is Joanne Ross. I'm a parent of Nick Turner. He is a client at Sample Supports.
I'm Morgan McGinley.
Right, we have three children total, but Morgan is our firstborn.
Yeah.
One of the things that's happened with Nick and I and the additional independence that he's had with Samples is I now get to just be mom.
Morgan, when she was diagnosed in Iowa City, they said, oh my goodness, she's not your normal autistic person. What is normal anyway?
Ultimately, Morgan wants to be with people, but she got drawn into their drama. Then there were behaviors. Then she was being actually, withheld from what she really wanted. And what did that do? It caused more behaviors, frustration on top of behaviors, and
Correct.
It was just a flywheel. It was just a cycle.
Many families come to Sample Supports and don't know what to expect until they see what makes us different.
Samples kind of circled the wagons and got us into programming and met with us really quickly and did a great job of helping us through a really rough time in our life.
They've given us back our
It
daughter.
was pretty powerful.
Nick and Morgan's families wanted to tell us a little about how things have changed since they started using our services.
They came to us that they wanted Morgan, and I think we were shocked and horrified. Somebody wants our daughter,
Yeah, she was coming
They
from
solicited us. They really wanted Morgan.
Morgan was struggling a bit before she came to us.
Yes.
I would call it not living at all. I think she's got a wonderful heart, and I think that's in there.
He's gained lots of independence. He's been in a stable, supportive environment. He's been able to make friends and move on to live independently in a host home. And I don't think any of those things would have been possible without Samples and the things that they did for him. I can and have recommended Samples to other parents and other families. And those other families have responded really, really positively. One of them told me just this weekend when I saw her that they feel like they've won the lottery with their daughter.
That now she can interact with people like she's always wanted to.
Normally, in many of the groups, we would see a divided staff. Everyone had their own agendas. There's only one agenda here, and that's to see that every child, every adult that comes through their door is given every possibility to flourish and thrive.
She would have behaviors, and rather than who she's being served by at that time, addressing the behaviors and helping work through those behaviors, they chose to just not take her out into the community.
Yeah.
These are behaviors that we can't deal with. We can't get her out there in the middle of the community and have to deal with that. In contrast, Samples dealt with the issues
Oh my.
up front. Not that it was easy, and not that it didn't take time, but it was being addressed, and Morgan was being put out there.
Nick and Morgan's families proceeded to tell us exactly why they think we do things differently.
In 2 months, we were able to see that we weren't getting a call every time something happened. They handled this. You'd get that call after they handled it, and you had to be okay with that. You have to know that Samples has good supports. They have good community experience. They know how social services works, and so I think their specialty is the most severe.
I have found over the time that we have been with Samples that they have been very responsive and very caring, and that the most important thing is that the staff they have is invested in what they do. They truly care about the people that they're servicing, and they develop personal affection for their clients and the parents that they're dealing with.
I decided that I would give her 2 Samples without any boundaries. We didn't know she'd be making jewelry 1 month after she got there.
Or mowing lawns.
Or mowing lawns, or elderly, or living in a host home with a 4-year-old and many others, and actually cohabitating very, very nicely.
Thriving.
Thriving. I mean, beyond thriving. These aren't staff, these are friends, these are co-workers, these are peers. Morgan's 30. Half of the people who are serving her are in their 30s. And she relates to all of them, and I have not seen one, I don't think one, that didn't treat her like an equal instead of a subservient. Like, I'm serving you, this is my job today. And if it did appear that, I don't think they're in Sample's employ.
Every other situation that Morgan has been in, it was very clear when I was interacting with that staff, this is my job.
This is a job.
Samples, it's clearly your job to do what you do, but there's a higher, you guys bring a higher level to the table. You don't wear "it's my job" on your sleeve.
So if you had a few words to say to the Samples team, what would you say?
Thank you. Thank you doesn't seem anywhere near enough. I can't imagine our life without them. I can't imagine Morgan's life.
I think we started 3 years ago. We started to live 3 years ago. And now we're just blossoming. So going backwards is not something I can do. And I don't think, in Sample's eyes, that's not something they'll ever let Morgan do. Going backwards isn't even in the scope. So going forward, going out there, Samples, thank you. Thank you for my life back, our lives.
Yeah.